Have you ever wondered what happened before we invented the toothbrush? Before mint-flavored toothpaste and commercials teaching us how to smile perfectly? Well, today I'm going to take you on a journey back in time to a fascinating and mysterious era, the Middle Ages. Discovering how our ancestors took care of their teeth might surprise you or leave you speechless. Oral hygiene in the Middle Ages was, well, creative. There were no toothbrushes, toothpastes, dental floss, or regular visits to the dentist. But be careful, this does not mean that people completely ignored their teeth. Sure, they lacked modern science, but the methods they used were the result of folk traditions passed down from generation to generation. Some of these methods, surprisingly, laid the foundation for what we know today. Let's start with a classic, charcoal. Yes, charcoal, which many people know today as a trendy ingredient in some modern toothpastes. But in the Middle Ages, it was certainly not a refined, packaged product. People took charcoal, crumbled it finely, and used it to scrub their teeth. Often it was mixed with other substances such as salt to increase its effectiveness. This method was rudimentary, but it made sense. Charcoal was abrasive and could remove food debris and surface plaque. However, imagine the result, perhaps cleaner teeth, but black hands and probably irritated gums. Elegant? Maybe not. Naively effective? Absolutely. But coal wasn't the only ally of medieval oral hygiene. Vinegar was another popular remedy. People would rinse their mouths with it, believing that its disinfectant power could combat dental problems. Of course, they had no idea that the acidity of vinegar could also damage tooth enamel, making them more vulnerable to cavities. But in an era when enamel was unknown and modern dental treatments were lacking, vinegar seemed like a viable option. Plus, vinegar had another benefit. It helped mask unpleasant mouth odors. And that's where another medieval oral hygiene staple comes in, herbs. Mint, sage, rosemary, and even parsley were not only used in cooking, but also to keep the mouth fresh. People would chew them directly or rub them on their teeth. It wasn't just a question of aesthetics. These herbs had natural antibacterial properties, which made them useful for fighting bad breath and, to some extent, also for preventing infections. Sage, in particular, was considered almost miraculous. It was common to rub a fresh sage leaf on the teeth to clean them and perfume them. It may not have solved all the problems, but at least it left a pleasant taste in the mouth. Then, there were the wooden sticks. These crude tools were a distant ancestor of modern toothbrushes. People would choose small twigs, often from aromatic trees like willow or linden, and chew them until they created a sort of natural brush. With these sticks, they could gently scrub their teeth and gums. While it may seem primitive today, it is interesting to note that in some cultures, the use of similar sticks, such as the miswak in the Arab world, is still practiced and even recommended for oral health. But don't think that medieval oral hygiene was always so thorough or effective. In many cases, people simply didn't care much about cleaning their teeth or didn't know how to do it. This led to serious problems such as tooth decay, tooth loss, and infections. When the pain became unbearable, there was nothing left to do but turn to a barber or a makeshift dentist. Tooth removal was the most common solution, and it was often done without anesthesia. A decidedly traumatic experience. Yet not everything they did was wrong. Some of the medieval practices, while crude, had a basis in nature, and sometimes even science. Today, for example, we know that many herbs used in the Middle Ages actually have antibacterial properties. Sage, rosemary, and mint, for example, are still common ingredients in oral hygiene products. And the idea of using charcoal, while more refined today, has found new life in beauty and personal care products. But the real question is, what did people's teeth look like in the Middle Ages? Well, don't expect perfect white smiles. The diet of the time, consisting mainly of unrefined, high-fiber foods, helped maintain a certain natural cleanliness. However, the lack of scientific knowledge and modern treatments meant that tooth decay was very common, as was early tooth loss. Older people often had no teeth at all, and dentures like the ones we know today didn't exist. Yet, there is something fascinating about this simplicity. People in the Middle Ages did the best they could with what they had. Their approach, however rudimentary, was based on practical observations and a deep connection with nature. Sure, today we would never give up our toothbrush and toothpaste. But wouldn't it be interesting to try, even just for a day, one of these ancient methods? Who knows? Maybe charcoal or a sage leaf could surprise you. Now it's your turn. Which of these remedies would you try, even just out of curiosity? Write it in the comments. And if this journey into the past has piqued your curiosity, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. The Middle Ages still have many secrets to reveal, and we are here to tell them.